Basically, what we want to do is show some verses that give us evidence of the Creator. In other words, there's some things that are statements made in the Bible that they're just statements. The Bible doesn't claim to be a scientific book. That wasn't its intention. But because God's a creator, he throws in there every once in a while through his writers things that are scientifically accurate that the writers could not have known. And we're going to discuss some of those and note as closely as possible how the things that they mentioned to be true weren't discovered for thousands of years later in some cases. The Bible, as we've noted, we know that the writings of the Bible are no less than 2,000 years old. So the things that these writers write, and a lot of the evidence is going to look at come from the Old Testament, so that they were written anywhere from 600 BC to 1000 BC, and well, in some cases 2000 BC. With the writer of Job, he's dated at 2000 BC, and so how did they know the things that they state? And so we're going to kick it off by looking at Isaiah chapter 40. Joe, I want to look at verse 22. Well, actually, I think it'd be good if I started at verse 21. Have you not known? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them out like a tent to dwell in. I want to focus just for a second on that word circle. Let's translate it circle here. Comes from the Hebrew word kug. You can spell it in different ways in our English language. Chawg is one way, another is Khoog. Some spell it Kug, but anyway, Khug. That's in the English language, but it's pronounced kug. And that Hebrew word means, it can be translated circle. Strong's gives it that translation. But also, they refer to sphericity, being a spherical ball. And so talks about God sitting above the sphere of the earth. That word earth comes from the Hebrew word eretz, which can be translated or can be referred to as the entire globe, all of the earth, or as in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 10, it's used that God called the dry land earth. That's that word eretz. So when we compare this verse then with something that Solomon wrote, now Isaiah wrote about 600 BC. We'll kind of round that off to then. And then we've got in Proverbs written about 1000 BC, 900 BC. In Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 27, it says, speaking of God, when he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the deep. And the word deep there, the word also refers to the depth, and that would refer to the oceans, Joe, isn't that right? And so he talks about the sphericity of the earth, the dirt, and of the oceans, the water. And so that tells us that what they're referring to is that the earth is round, it's not flat. And of course, we know that for centuries, people thought the earth was flat. Aristotle actually was one of the first to believe or to theorize that the earth would be round, and he based that upon the eclipse of the moon and of the rising and setting of the sun, and so you could see, and then ships going over the horizon and then coming back, and so Aristotle theorized that the Earth was round, but actually that was not accepted at his time, and it was taught for hundreds of years. Actually, it really wasn't shown scientifically until about 1800 AD, with modern sailing vessels and with the sextant and various ways of measurement in the seas, that they said, well, the Earth is round. People didn't sell off the edge of it
Yeah.
like they thought they might, and things. So it's interesting that uh, Job, I'm sorry, Isaiah 600 BC, and then Solomon about 900 BC, uh, talked about the earth being a sphere, and referring to both the land and the water as as being part of that.
We hope you found this clip beneficial. If you'd like to see the entire video, just click on the link.